Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Legends Unveiled. I'm Ali.
And I'm Mariam. Today, we have a story that goes far beyond the football pitch. It's a story of sheer willpower, heartbreaking loss, and an unbreakable spirit. We're talking about the one and only Cristiano Ronaldo.
But before we dive into this incredible journey, we have a huge favor to ask. Guys, we put our hearts into researching and telling these stories. If you enjoy what we do, please hit that subscribe button right now. It means the absolute world to us and helps us keep this podcast alive.
Exactly. We really need your support to grow, so please subscribe and drop a comment down below. Let us know who your favorite footballer is, or just say hi. We read every single comment. Seriously, pause the audio, hit subscribe, and let's get into it.
All right, let's set the scene. When you hear the name Cristiano Ronaldo, what comes to mind? The private jets, the 5 Ballon d'Ors, the hundreds of millions of followers?
Most people just see the superstar, but to truly understand the man, we have to go back to the beginning. And the beginning was anything but glamorous.
It's 1985. We're on the volcanic island of Madeira, Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro is born into a deeply impoverished Catholic family. He was the youngest of 4 children.
His mother, Dolores, was a cook and a cleaner. His father, José Denis Aveiro, was a municipal gardener and a part-time kitman for a local amateur football club. They were so poor that they all shared a single room. In fact, Dolores later revealed in her book that she had considered terminating the pregnancy because they simply couldn't afford another mouth to feed.
It's heavy to think about. But from the moment he could walk, Cristiano was obsessed with football. His godfather once said that as a boy, all he wanted to do was play. He would skip meals, sneak out of his bedroom window with a ball, just to play in the streets.
School wasn't really his thing. He was actually expelled at age 14 after throwing a chair at a teacher who he felt had disrespected him. After that, he and his mother agreed. He would drop out and focus entirely on football.
It was a massive gamble, but his talent was undeniable. By age 12, he had already left his family in Madeira to move to Lisbon, joining the Sporting CP Academy. Imagine being 12 years old, leaving your family, your home, to live in a strange city where people mocked your island accent. He cried almost every day.
And then, at age 15, disaster almost struck. He was diagnosed with a racing heart condition. The doctors told him he might have to give up football forever.
Can you imagine? Your one ticket out of poverty, your only passion, almost snatched away. But he underwent laser heart surgery, and incredibly, he was back on the pitch just days later. Nothing was going to stop him.
By 2003, at just 18 years old, his life changed forever. In a friendly match against Manchester United, he absolutely dazzled the English players. Sir Alex Ferguson signed him almost immediately. He became the first Portuguese player for Manchester United, taking the legendary number 7 shirt.
The world was finally seeing his brilliance. But behind the scenes, a tragedy was unfolding. And this is where the story gets truly heartbreaking.
Cristiano's father, José Denis, was a war veteran. He had fought in Angola and Mozambique. And when he returned to Portugal, he struggled to find work. To cope with the trauma and the hardship, he turned to alcohol.
Cristiano loved his father deeply. It was José who first introduced him to football. But the alcoholism created a wall between them Cristiano later confessed that he never really had a proper, deep conversation with his dad.
In September 2005, when Cristiano was just 20 years old and starting to make waves at Manchester United, his father's liver finally failed. Jose Denise Avero passed away at the age of 52.
It shattered Cristiano. The timing was so cruel. His father died just before Cristiano reached the absolute pinnacle of the sport. He never saw his son win the Champions League. He never saw him win a single Ballon d'Or. He never saw him become the captain of Portugal or lift the European Championship trophy.
Years later, during an interview, Cristiano was shown a video from 2004, a year before his father died. In the video, his father was talking about how proud he was of his son. Cristiano had never seen that footage before. He broke down in tears on camera.
He wiped his eyes and said, "My father, he saw nothing. He died young. But it is what it is. He carries that pain with him every single day. He often wonders if his relentless drive, his need to be the absolute best, is because he feels his father is watching him from heaven."
It gives you a completely different perspective on his ambition, doesn't it? When he scores, when he points to the sky, it's not just arrogance. It's a son still trying to make his father proud.
After his father's death, Cristiano poured every ounce of his grief and energy into football. He transformed his body, his mindset, his entire life. He became a machine.
He won 3 consecutive Premier League titles with Manchester United. Then, in 2009, he made a record-breaking $131 million move to Real Madrid. And in Spain, he didn't just play football, he rewrote the history books. The rivalry with Lionel Messi pushed him to unimaginable heights. He won 4 more Ballon d'Ors. He won 4 Champions League titles with Real Madrid. He became their all-time top scorer. And let's not forget 2016, leading Portugal to win the European Championship. He was injured in the final, crying on the pitch, but he stood on the sidelines, basically acting as the manager, shouting instructions, willing his team to victory. He later moved to Juventus, then back to Manchester United, and now he's pioneering a new era of football in Saudi Arabia with Al Nassr. He is the first men's player in history to score 900 career goals. 900!
But beyond the goals, he's a family man. He has 6 children, and he's incredibly protective of them. He once said, "If you don't have family, life will be very, very tough."
He's also one of the most charitable athletes on the planet. He sold his 2013 Ballon d'Or to raise over $800,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He sold his golden boot to build schools in Gaza. He donates millions to hospitals and children's charities.
He's a complex figure. He's demanding, he's a perfectionist, and yes, he can be arrogant on the pitch. He even admits it, saying, "I don't mind people hating me because it pushes me."
But when you look at where he started, a poor kid on a volcanic island, sweeping streets, dealing with a father's addiction, and overcoming a heart condition, you can't help but respect the sheer force of his will.
Cristiano Ronaldo is proof that your beginnings do not dictate your end, that hard work, belief, and an unbreakable spirit can literally change your destiny.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Legends Unveiled. We hope you saw a different side of CR7 today.
And remember, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. It really helps us out. We'll see you in the next episode.